So this is just a quick mini lesson almost of how to get the equation from the graph or the table. Now, some of you may have already seen the pattern after all this work we've been doing, but we're going to officially go over it so that you know it for sure. All right, now there are 3 steps into finding the equation from the table or graph and getting it into standard form. The number 1 thing to note before we even start is that there is no way to go directly to standard form. Okay? There is no way to go directly to standard form. You have to write the equation in either slope-intercept, which we're going to go over in this video, or, as we'll go over in the next video, point-slope. Now my personal opinion, point-slope method is the superior of the 2 methods. However, the slope-intercept method is probably what you're most familiar with from middle school. So that's what we're going to go over in this video, and then in the next video, we'll go over point-slope, and I may or may not convert you to my way of thinking. All right, so your 3 steps. Write it over here. The first step is you need to find the slope. Always find the slope first. The second step is you need to find the y-intercept. Okay, because we'll be plugging this into slope-intercept form. So it makes sense you have to find those 2 pieces. Then the third step is rewrite in standard. Now, depending on how nice your graph or table is, the first 2 steps might be really, really easy. I'm going to show you how to do it according to the equations. That way, even if you don't have a nice graph or table, you can still find it. So let's get started. Number 1, we got to find slope. In order to find slope, we need 2 points. Because remember, slope is m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to go to my graph and I'm going to find 2 points. Now you can use any 2 points. I'm just going to find the first 2 that I see. And I see this one, which is 4, 3. And then I see this one right here, which is 2, negative 1. So those are the 2 points I see, and those are the 2 points that I'm going to use. Again, you can use whichever 2 points you saw on this line. This is just what I saw first. So to find my slope, I have 3 minus a negative 1 over 4 minus 2. This is going to simplify down to 4 over 2, which is eventually going to equal 2. So my slope is 2. Now, if you have a nice graph, and here's what I mean by nice graph, you can count from the points. All right, so you could go up 1, 2 over 1, up 1, 2 over 1, and that's a good way to check that the slope is 2. But you may not have a nice graph like that, so this is the way that will always work. All right, so next step. We have to find our y-intercept. Now what we're going to do is we are going to plug our slope and one of our points into slope-intercept form. Okay, so here's slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We're going to plug our slope and a point into here and then solve for b. Because remember, b is our y-intercept. That's not how you spell that word, but I'm going to go with it. As a point of clarification, all right, standard form is this. ax plus by is equal to c. Please note that this b is not the same as this b. Okay, one is capitalized and one is lowercase for a reason. The b in y-intercept form is not the same b as in the standard equation. Now that that's clear, let's go on. So I am going to use this point. No particular reason why, I just think it looks nice. So I'm going to plug it in 3 is equal to 2 times 4 plus b. And now we solve for b. All right, so my y-intercept is 5. Now, if you have a nice graph, which this one actually is, sometimes it crosses nice and neatly, on the y-intercept, which is very lovely. However, not all graphs cross at a point. Sometimes they cross at awkward fractions. So this is the best way to find y-intercept 100% of the time. Okay. Now we go on to step 3, which is to plug in and write in standard. Now what I mean by that plug in bit, we have our slope, we have our y-intercept, so I'm going to plug everything back in to slope-intercept form. Okay, so I have y is equal to 2x minus 5. All I did was plug my slope and my y-intercept back in. Now that I have an equation of the line, I'm going to rewrite this in standard. So I have minus 2x, negative 2x plus y is equal to negative 5. I need a to be negative, or I need a to be positive, sorry. So I'm going to multiply the whole equation by negative 1, which is going to get me 2x minus y is equal to 5. And this is the equation of the line in standard form. Okay. Now, as we move on to tables, it is the exact same process, the exact same steps. You're going to first find slope, then your y-intercept, then plug in and rewrite in standard. So here we go. Again, you can really pick any of these 2 points. It doesn't matter which 2 you pick. I'm going to pick these 2. So to find slope, I'm going to have this be x1 and y1, and this be x2 and y2. And now I'm going to plug in. So I have negative 1, oops, that's not right. I have 20 minus 17 over negative 1 minus a negative 3. Okay, this is going to simplify down to 3 over 2. There's my slope. Now I need my y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to plug everything in, and I'm going to use this point right here. No particular reason. Honestly, I could have used this one. I just like negative 1 and 20. I think it looks nice. So I have 20 is equal to 3 over 2 times negative 1 plus b. And even though I just picked negative 1 and 20 purely by randomness, it does work out nicely because this fraction times negative 1 just gives me a negative form of the fraction, which is kind of nice. All right, now here you have 2 options. Number 1, you can add the fraction to both sides, put 20 over a common denominator, and deal with fractions. That works. Or you can get rid of the fractions by multiplying the whole equation by the denominator. That's the way I'm going to do. If you don't like this way, ask me and I'll show you the other way. So I have a 2 times 2 times 2 and times 2. So I have 40 is equal to a negative 3 plus 2b. Because remember, the denominator cancels out, which is what we wanted it to do. Now I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Oops. 43 is equal to 2b divided by 2. b is equal to 43 over 2. That's our y-intercept. Now this is the only acceptable time when I will allow you to get out your calculator, because this fraction is just horrid to graph. So you may get out your calculator at this point only and turn that into a decimal, which gives you 21.5. Now we go on to step 3, and let's plug everything back into our slope-intercept equation. Y is equal to 2, whoops, not 2. It's equal to 3 over 2x plus 21.5. And now we rewrite into standard. And I'll change colors on this one so you can see how it works. Minus 3 over 2x. Negative 3 over 2x plus y is equal to 21.5. I need a to be positive, so I'm going to multiply the whole thing by a negative 1. And I have 3 over 2x minus y is equal to a negative 21.5. There you go. Let me know if you have any questions. That's it.